Welcome to Heart Devotion. Today's topic is God sees you. Do you feel overlooked, not noticed, forgotten, helpless, unsuccessful, like a nobody, too common? Haven't we all had moments like this when we felt overlooked? Phases in which we do not treat ourselves lovingly because we think the thoughts of being a nothing brought over them, think about them, and possibly accept them and see ourselves that way? Nowadays, many people compare themselves to the pictures presented to them from advertisements and social media. Images that are manipulated, exaggerated, and fake, and photoshopped. Somehow we're taught that we should be dissatisfied with who we are and with our life. This is how you should look. This is how you should be, and this is what you should have achieved. Let's look at Joseph, the son of Jacob, who was hated by his brothers that they did something terrible to him. They robbed him of his homeland and home, sold him into slavery. There in Egypt, he was a stranger. He didn't know anyone, and he was mistreated. He was innocently imprisoned because of false accusation against him. Could he fall any lower, trapped in a dark hole, forgotten, powerless? Do you feel like this sometimes? Do you feel like in a dark hole, forgotten and desperate? Let's look at Joseph. Despite the dire circumstances, he had not given up because he clung to God. He continued to trust God, had enough will to live, to do well in prison. After years of imprisonment, God placed Joseph into the highest position in the country, next to Pharaoh. Gone were the oppression and injustice. God had seen Joseph over the years. God was with him in the well, in the slave market, in the bedroom of Pharaoh's wife, where he was falsely accused, in prison. 13 long years of injustice. God saw it. And Joseph felt seen. He wasn't alone. So was Hagar. She was cast out by Abraham in Genesis 16:13 and was sent into the desert alone with her child. How must have she felt? Feeling rejected and devalued, lost and forgotten. But God sent an angel to show her that God was seeing her. God also sees you in your desperate situation, in your self-doubts, in your helplessness. God sees everything. He knows everything. He knows your thoughts from afar. We have a Creator God who is always for life, for good, for the future. Your dark thoughts are not from God. God wants to turn your downcast thoughts into hope. It may look hopeless, but do you know that it all starts with thoughts? Thoughts come, then feelings follow and lead to actions. Bad thoughts lead to bad feelings and bad deeds. Good, life-giving, positive thoughts trigger positive feelings and lead to positive, hopeful deeds. Do not be the slave of your thoughts, but be master of your thoughts. Do not let your thoughts guide your life, but guide your thoughts that lead to a good life. In Jeremiah 29:11 we read that God says, "I have thoughts of peace and not of sorrow, that I give you a future and hope." If we bow down to God's being and want to become more like Him, then let's start there. Perhaps as a tool, you can write down your thoughts and what they trigger and what actions result from them. Always remember, God sees you. You are not forgotten, not a nobody, and not unsuccessful. For God, you are just the opposite, equipped with strength, energy, life, value, and everything you need to live. God never put one single person into this world who was not equipped to live a good life. God never said you have to be rich to be happy, or that you have to have certain achievements to be happy. On the contrary, in Luke 9:48, Jesus says, "Whoever welcomes this child in my name welcomes me." Jesus lowered himself to the height of the child. What he's saying is, the one who serves the small things is great. It's not the big things that are done in the spotlight that are called big, but the small, often unspectacular things that also happen in the unseen and in service are great. It starts with thoughts of accepting oneself and one's life. Say a loving yes to you and your circumstances. Greet yourself with a smile in the mirror and be sure that God sees you and looks at you with love. Everything can change, including your dark situation, as it did with Joseph. In the meantime, hold on to God and think good thoughts about yourself and your life. Trust God, for He is steadfast and always good, and learn to trust yourself. You can do it. You are wonderfully made and have the skills within you to overcome. Put down the standard the world gives you and accept God's standard. It says in Hebrews 10:35-36, do not throw away your trust, which has great rewards. But you need patience so that you can do God's will and receive what has been promised. Let's be patient. It's not always easy, but we rather hope than despair. Be blessed.